Have you ever heard someone described as having a Napoleon complex? You know, that idea that shorter people are overly assertive or aggressive to compensate for their height. Well, brace yourself for a historical plot twist. Napoleon Bonaparte, the man behind this phrase, wasn't actually short. That's right, the French emperor renowned for his military prowess was not the diminutive figure popular culture would have us believe. The myth of Napoleon's short stature has become one of those historical tidbits that everyone knows. But here's where things get interesting. Napoleon was actually of average height for his time. Historical records suggest he was about 5 feet 7 inches or about 1.7 meters tall, pretty standard for a Frenchman in the early 19th century. So how did this towering figure in history get tagged as a short man? It's a classic case of historical miscommunication mixed with a dash of good old-fashioned propaganda. First up, the measurement mix-up. Napoleon's height was listed as 5 feet 2 inches in French feet, which were longer than British feet. When converted to British measurements, his height was a perfectly average 5 feet 7 inches. But it seems nobody bothered with the conversion, leading to the misunderstanding that he was a wee man. Adding to this, British propaganda at the time loved to depict Napoleon as a tiny, temperamental tyrant, an image that stuck in the public imagination. It was a way to belittle the emperor who was causing quite a stir across Europe. The British cartoonists had a field day with this, and their caricatures played a significant role in shaping this false perception. Interestingly, Napoleon was often surrounded by his imperial guard, who were required to be above average height, which could have made him look shorter in comparison. It's all about perspective, isn't it? But why does this matter? Well, the short Napoleon myth is a classic example of how history can be colored by misunderstandings and biases. It's a reminder that what we know about historical figures can be influenced by the narratives that emerge around them rather than the facts. The real irony here is that Napoleon's legacy is enormous. He was a military genius, an administrative reformer, and his legal code, the Napoleonic Code, has influenced legal systems around the world. And yet, one of the most enduring things about him in popular culture is a misconception about his height. So next time you hear someone mention Napoleon's height, you can set the record straight. He wasn't a short man. He was a man of average height with an extraordinary legacy. This tale of Napoleon's height is a little reminder of how history can be as much about myth as it is about fact. It shows us that sometimes, to get to the truth, we have to look beyond the tales that have been handed down through the ages and dig a little deeper. After all, history is not just about the past. It's about how we understand and interpret the past in the present.